Rama ma'am, am I audible to you?
Yes, but it's echoing. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am, I have set up the Zoom, video on the screen.
The video was there. Now it is not here.
No, it's there. I'm just showing you.
Okay. But the sound was not there.
No?
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. So first we are going to play the video. After that, I think there will be an introduction.
Yes, ma'am.
Introduction by someone else.
Yes, ma'am. Selling the is there.
Okay. After that, this.
Then the window gets offer after the introduction.
Then I'll take it. Then first the video, and then the PowerPoint presentation.
As soon as the video will get in, I will start.
Yes, the first slide should be there.
Sure, ma'am. I'm just starting the. I'm adding it to everyone. Am I audible to you?
Yes, yes.
Shalendra, sir?
Yes, I am. You are audible.
No, I'm adding everyone.
Shalendra sir is there.
Yes,
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. Good evening.
Sir,
How are you, ma'am?
I'm starting everyone adding up, ma'am.
Yes, please, please.
Shalendra, sir, you're unmuted.
Yes, yes. Good evening, all. This is Shailendra Kumar, Principal, Modern Public School, Jumri Talaiya, Koderma. And I'm very much honored that I have been given chance to introduce my Didi-like resource person, Mrs. Rama Chakraborty, who had been mentored to us also. And I personally have learned so many things from her. And today, on behalf of Aryabhat Sahodaya School Complex, I extend my best wishes to ma'am. And the topic which today we are having is important for teachers especially, because if we talk of ethics and integrity, it is much expected from teachers, since society as well as all the stakeholders, whoever living in the society, they have a very high expectation from all of us. So this topic is very, very important for us, and I would not take much time here. I would request Rama ma'am to take over and enlighten us with her fine wisdom and intellect. So looking forward to you, ma'am. So mic is yours, ma'am. Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Shailendra sir, and thank you, Aryabhat Sahodaya, for giving me this golden opportunity to introduce such a relevant topic for all of us. So when I went to Delhi for taking the training of this particular topic, that was a 2 day full of training, and the topic was named as upholding ethics and integrity. Now, whatever I'm going to do, before that, we all enjoy movies and stories. So today's training session will be a nice one with all short stories, and we are going to start it with a small movie. Let us see what it tells. Thank you. Stop video. We all have experienced these things. May I start? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Audible, audible.
So,
Yes, ma'am.
let us start with the first slide of the PowerPoint. Almost every day, we see the startling headlines like police officer caught while taking bribe, godman involved in misdeeds, teachers or school staffs involved in paper leak, army officer sharing confidential information for monetary gains, etc., etc., etc. So common has been the breach of ethical code by individuals and organizations in which we have placed our collective trust, that a new phrase has evolved to express our dismay, that is institutional betrayal. This phrase denotes the erosion
Hello.
Am I not audible?
Yes, yes, ma'am. Yes, you are very much audible.
Okay. So the thing is, why this topic for the teachers? The teachers are the nation builders. So they are expected to probe, push, prod, and remove the calcified plaque of the mind that may have been accumulated over time through repeated negative thoughts, negative experiences, and negative actions. These sessions will not change everything overnight, but we sincerely hope that in time, such analysis, such introspection, reflection, and follow-up will lead to an improved climate of ethics and integrity. Before delving deep into today's topic, let us first ponder over some very common keywords. Let us go to the next slide. Next slide, please. Hello. Yeah, next. The next one. So these are the keywords: belief, faith, trust, values, ethics, and integrity. All these hello. Repeatedly, I am being muted.
Yes, ma'am. Now you can continue.
Okay. So what is belief? Beliefs are concepts or assumptions. You can tell that we hold these assumptions we hold to be true. Beliefs are contextual. They arise from learned experiences resulting from the cultural and environmental situations we have faced. Belief is an acceptance that something exists or something is true, especially maybe one without any proof. हम लोग हिंदी में बिलीफ को आस्था बोलते हैं. Next, the very close word is faith, vishwas. Faith is a belief that is not based on any proof, a belief with no supportive evidence. Very often, it is believing something you cannot see. Belief is an idea you have reasoned out for yourself based on what facts are available that you can see or that you can experience. Again, a very close word is trust. Trust is something based on repeated past experiences. Trust is earned and faith is given. कभी कभी हम लोग देखते हैं ना, छोटे बच्चे को पापा हवा में उछाल देते हैं और जब बच्चा को उछाल देते हैं बच्चा खिलखिला के हंसते हैं. That is because of trust. The firm belief in the reliability, truth, or ability of someone or something. Next comes values. What are values? They are broad preferences concerning appropriate courses of actions or outcomes. We can elaborate them a little more. Values are universal. Values transcend contexts because they are based on what is important to us, that is the humans. They arise from the experience of being human. Values are intimately related to our needs. Core values are about collective as well as individual behaviors. And values often unite where sometimes beliefs divide. Next comes ethics. What are ethics? Ethics are moral principles that govern a person's behavior. It is based on well-founded standards of right and wrong that prescribe what humans ought to do, usually in terms of rights, obligations, benefit of the society, etc. So when these ethics we are talking about, ethics consist of the standards of behavior that our human society accepts, characterized by honesty, fairness, capacity, etc. And the last one, not the least one, is integrity. What is integrity? It's written on the screen that the quality of being honest and having strong principles. So integrity is firm adherence to a code of moral values. You are a person of integrity when your words and actions match, when you walk your talk. Integrity is doing the right thing, even when no one is watching, even when it hurts. It is standing up for what you believe is right, living by your highest values. Attributes of integrity are probity, honesty, contentment, truthfulness, fair play, And integrity is the practice of being honest and showing a consistent and uncompromising adherence to strong moral and ethical principles and values. Let us go to the next slide, please. So this is talking about values versus ethics. Values tell us what is important. Ethics tells us what is right. Remember, when values tell us what is important when we are humans, when we are human beings. Values tells us what should I achieve, and ethics tells us what is the correct action. Values may differ from person to person, but ethics is usually considered universal. And values, most often, they motivate us, and ethics constrain us that you cannot do this because it is against your values. And core values we all know, that is a principle or belief that a person or organization views as being of central importance. Next one, please. A few more related keywords, but these are all negative keywords. Dishonesty, we all know. Dishonesty is lack of honesty or lack of integrity. And this is disposition to defraud or deceive. Then theft. Theft is the taking of another person's property or services without that person's consent, with the intent to deprive the rightful owner of it. Plagiarism, the act of copying another person's ideas, words, or work and pretending that they are your own. Theft by conversion is very interesting. What it is, it occurs when one wrongfully converts another's property or funds for his or her own use. क्लास में हम लोग देखते हैं ये अक्सर, एक बच्चे दूसरे बच्चे के प्रोजेक्ट के ऊपर का जो फाइल कवर उसको बदल के अपना नाम लिख के प्रेजेंट किया. That is also theft by conversion. So these are little examples from our daily life that we see. Sometimes they are funny, but afterwards, when this goes on and this is not rebuked or scolded or not corrected, that can lead to some dishonest behavior in later life. Next one, please. Cognitive dissonance, a very, very peculiar thing. What is it? The term cognitive dissonance is used to describe the mental discomfort that results from holding two conflicting beliefs, values, or attributes. People tend to seek consistency in their attitudes, in their behavior and perception. So if there is a conflict, the conflict causes the feeling of uneasiness or discomfort. So that is cognitive dissonance. There's a psychological term. It leads to inconsistency between our thoughts, beliefs, or attitudes and behavior. It creates the need to resolve contradictory or conflicting beliefs, values, and perceptions. It only occurs when we are attached to our attitudes and beliefs. अगर आपके अंदर कोई attachment ही नहीं है for your attitudes and beliefs, तो उसमें कोई conflicting ideas, conflicting perception भी नहीं रहेगा और उसमें cognitive dissonance का कोई बात ही नहीं होंगे. Next one. Next slide, please. Next slide. Hello. Abhay ji. Yeah. So this is also about cognitive dissonance. Here is an example. For example, we all know that it is wrong to steal, but many of us would be willing to take organization's adhesive tape or pen or paper for our personal use because we say to others or we say to ourselves, it is nothing expensive or there's a plenty here. और इतना पैसा तो देते हैं सैलरी, उसमें इतना कुछ अगर ले लेते हैं हम तो कोई बात नहीं है. So this type of cognitive dissonance is very common. स्कूल में, काम के जगह में, ऑफिस में, छोटा छोटा जगह में हम लोग कभी कभी थोड़ा थोड़ा डिसऑनेस्ट बन जाते हैं, और उसमें अगर कोई अपना मॉरल वैल्यूज के प्रति समर्पित है, उनके मन में कॉग्निटिव डिसऑनेंस होते हैं कि मैं जो कर रहा हूं या जो मैं कर रही हूं वो शायद उतना सही नहीं है. बट कॉग्निटिव डिसऑनेंस इस केस में होगा, वो तो कॉमन बात है. खराब वो बात है जिसके मन में ये दुविधा भी नहीं होगा कि ये सही है या गलत है. So even worse is that same would not even feel any dissonance, no discomfort, and simply take the things without even giving it a second thought. Let us go to the next slide. So this is a little comics, you can tell, that is talking about, in a funny way, that is talking about cognitive dissonance, how you can use this as a psychological tool to mold someone or to motivate someone or to demotivate someone. But this is a funny one. Just let us enjoy it. Go through it. 1 minute or 2 minutes we can take for this slide. See, the person who has come to the employee, he is telling that you don't like your job. It is strange you have this dead-end job when you are twice as smart as your boss. What is happening? Abhay ji, is everything fine? Hello?
Yes, ma'am, it's fine, ma'am.
But I'm being muted repeatedly. I don't understand.
Ma'am, it happens because of I'm muting other person and slides over there.
Okay. So the employee is telling it's absurd. The cognitive dissonance is working in the employee. He's telling it's absurd. So there must be some reason why I'm doing this. And then he finds out something to resolve his cognitive dissonance. He's telling, I love this job. I love working, so I'm working. Nobody has told me that this is a dead-end job for me. Next one. So there are some discussion points that what characteristics do teachers need for success? Is ethics one of them? That we cannot discuss here. And what are some of the reasons people give for small violations of ethics? Here, at this point, I'll tell you, I'll give you a little situation. Suppose you are working in an office and there the colored printer is there under the control of the office secretary. You can take printouts from the color printer, but because it is a little costly, so it is told by the office head that you have to give in writing what is the use of these colored prints. Now, in your daughter's school, she has got a big project. That project is very important for her. And for that project, she needs about 20 to 25 printed colored photographs. Now the dilemma is, or the cognitive dissonance is, what you will do. This is the situation. So when you tell the office secretary that these photographs are required for an activity that you are doing with your students, that may be an option. And will you print it as it will save your money? The question is not important. The dilemma is important. And what is more important is what is your answer? What is your answer to solve the cognitive dissonance that is rising within you because of the dilemma? So, and there is a third question, that would you or would not you take these printouts in case they are too many or too less? अच्छा 2 ही प्रिंट आउट लेना है ना, ठीक है ले लेता हूँ, या तो 200 प्रिंट आउट है, इतना पैसा क्यों बाहर खर्चा करूं, चलो इतना ले लेता हूँ। ये दोनों ही केस में आर यू ब्रीचिंग द स्टैंडर्ड ऑफ योर मॉरल वैल्यूज? आपके अंदर कॉग्निटिव डिसोनेंस हो रहा है क्या, डायलेमा हो रहा है क्या? हो रहा है तो किस केस में? छोटा सा बात है कर लेता हूं कुछ नहीं जाता, या बहुत बड़ा बात है बहुत सारा पैसा खर्चा होगा और मेरे पास उतना उपाय नहीं है सो मैं कर लेता हूं? The answers are important. The questions which is arising within and the answer which your mind is giving to those questions, those are important. So what are some of the reasons people give for small violations of ethics? We are going to take other stories. Let us go to the next one. Next slide. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Abhay. There are so many gray areas, in the office, checking personal emails while you are working when nobody is around, or using official or official internet to shop or to bank online, favoring a friend in a hiring or promotion situation. These we all do, but these are little gray areas we have to ponder upon. So this is the discussion how innocent actions can lead to trouble or can lead to cognitive disorders. So what is integrity? In your language, in your simple language, what is integrity? The screen shows the integrity is doing what is right, even it is difficult and no one knows. Showing through your actions that you are a person of values, you are a person of ethics. When someone is around, showing that you are working great, you believe in integrity, and through your work you are showing integrity is very common. आपके बॉस नजदीक है, स्कूल के हेड नजदीक है, ऑफिस के हेड नजदीक है, आपने कुछ एक पड़ा हुआ मिला और उसको उठा के दे दिया, सबको बता दिया ये मिला है, ये इधर पड़ा हुआ था. That is not integrity because someone is there to show. But integrity is doing what is right even when no one knows, no one is around, and even if it is difficult, then only you are told a person of integrity. Okay, so what is our own simple definition of integrity is important. Is integrity something that one can impose on someone else? And how do you show integrity? Just a minute, please excuse me for 1 second. I'm just coming. Let us go to the next one. I'm very, very sorry. Because I'm all alone, so I had to open the door. So here we are going to discuss about two different situations. One is the hen's dilemma. We are going to speak about it. The other one is the story of Madhav. So what is Madhav? Madhav is a staff in a good school, and Madhav is a very sincere and honest person. So everyone in the school believes in him. What happens once Madhav's pay package is not very, very good? So sometimes he is having troubles in his family. Now the match is fixed for his younger sister, and he needs a lot of money for that marriage. He doesn't know how to earn that extra money because from the school he spends from morning to evening. So what happens once when mother was working late in the evening, some students of the same school, they are of class 12 standard, they actually approached to Madhav and told, भैया आपके पास तो सारा क्वेश्चन का कॉपी रहता है, बिकॉज आप एग्जाम कंट्रोल रूम में काम करते हो, तो प्री बोर्ड पास करना हम लोग के लिए बहुत जरूरी है, आपको पर पेपर हम लोग 10,000 रुपया दे देंगे, तो टोटल 6 पेपर के लिए आपको 60,000 रुपया दिया जाएगा, आप क्या एक एक कॉपी ऑफ क्वेश्चन हम लोग को निकाल दोगे, उसे हम लोग पास कर जाए. Now, what should Madhav do? This is an easy way of earning a lot of money. That money is very important for his sister's marriage. And if the money is not there, maybe the sister's marriage will be cancelled. At the same time, he is working day and night, but he doesn't know how to earn that extra money for the sister's marriage. So this is leading to a real dilemma. We often have this type of real dilemma in life, but then if our integrity is strong, if our moral values are strong, if we are really honest, then we are not going to face this cognitive dissonance, but we will do what is right, and that will prove that we have integrity. The second story is a very, very famous story, that is of Heinz dilemma. Heinz is a man in Germany. His wife is bedridden with a rare type of cancer. Cure is a formula which is invented by a city doctor. Heinz has only $200. So he took that money. He first approached his relatives, his friends, asked for money. So they also gave some money, but all together he could make only $2,000. But the city doctor who has invented that formula, he is charging $10,000 for the formula. Now Heinz approached that doctor and told, देखिए मेरे पास तो $2,000 ही है, आपको मैं ये $10,000 जो है ये मैं दे दूंगा, लेकिन बाद में मुझे 6 महीना 1 साल का टाइम दीजिए, मैं काम करके कहीं से लेके आपको ये चुकता कर दूंगा. लेकिन the doctor is not ready. He told that, okay, I will work in your laboratory, I will work in your as a house staff, but then also you give me some money, give me that formula so that I love my wife and my wife will be cured. The doctor was not ready. So क्या किया Heinz? मतलब रात को चोरी किया और चोरी करके वो फॉर्मूला लेके अपने बीबी को दिया, बीबी धीरे धीरे क्योर होने लगा. Now the question is, ये क्वेश्चन हम लोग बाद में भी जब कोलबर्ग्स मॉरल वैल्यूज का स्टैंडर्ड्स हम लोग डिस्कस करेंगे, इसका डिस्कशन फिर होगा. क्वेश्चन इज, हेन्स के पास क्या और कोई रास्ता नहीं था? हेन्स के लिए क्या जरूरी था कि वो चोरी करके अपने वाइफ को बचाए? क्या करना चाहिए था? Was it right? Was it wrong? So these are the discussion points. So showing integrity is not so important, but being a person of integrity is more important. What we believe, that we should do. That is called honesty or integrity. Next slide, please. This is again a cartoon. Integrity means doing what is right, even if it hurts. And the second bird tells, especially if it hurts. Next one, please. What does integrity entail? The 2 stories. We have already gone through those 2 stories. One is the Heinz dilemma, and the other one is about Madhav, the data entry operator. Next one, please. So these are 5 steps to ethical decision making. All situations are not ethical situations. There are certain very, very special situations which are taken to be ethical decision making situations. What are these and how to tackle these? What are the 5 steps? We call them ideal. I-D-E-A-L. Now let me explain this. What is I? Number 1, It is written recognize an ethical issue. Recognize whether a given issue is ethical or not. That is, number one is identify. Identify, that is recognize an ethical issue. Whether it is an ethical issue, could the decision be damaging to someone or to some group? Does this decision involve a choice between a right and wrong alternative, or perhaps between two rights or between two wrongs? So the first one is identifying. Identify whether that is an ethical issue, identifying or recognizing. That is I. Next is D. I told it is ideal. So what is D? D is define. Define here for point number 2. The next step, it is told get the facts. So what is defining? Get the facts relevant to that case. Can I know more about it? Do I know enough to take a decision? What individuals or groups have an important stake in the outcome? What are the options available? Creative options, if that is there is one. So we have to define and get all the relevant facts. Number 3 is evaluate alternative action. In case we take the word ideal, so it is E. E for evaluation. So explore or evaluate alternative actions. Which option will produce most good and do least harm? Which is right? Which option is best? Best while we consider all the Again, I am muted. I do not know why. Next, I was talking about ideal. So next is A. That is A is ideal. A is action. Make a decision and test it through an action. And number 5 is act and reflect on the outcome. And in ideal, it is L, that is look back. Okay, so act and reflect on outcome and define your takeaway. So the 5 steps of ethical decision making we can remember as identify, I for identify, D for define, E for explore, A for action, and L for look back. They together next slide. The XY game. Hello. Hello. Huh. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So the XY
Yes, ma'am.
game,
Yes, ma'am.
that
You are
is
audible, ma'am.
okay. Thank you. Thank you. The XY game. We have played this game. It's a very, very interesting psychological game. Actually, all those who were in a training, they were divided into 4 groups. And those 4 groups were given options. They told that in a sheet, you can write X and Y, and you have to give it to the judge. Now, the judge will take all your responses and then he will give your group the points and ultimately you need to win. Okay. Can we have the next slide? Can we have the next slide, please? Yes. So it was told that 4 X's, if you get X, then each X group loses 1,000 points. And if there are 3 X's and 1 X group wins 1,000 points and the Y group loses 3,000 points. If there are 2 X's and 2 Y's, then each X group wins 2,000 points and the Y group loses 2,000 points. If there is 1 X and 3 Y, then each X group wins 3,000 points and the Y group loses 1,000 points. And if there are only 4 Ys, then each Y group wins 1,000 points. They have selected some leaders of the groups, and the group leaders, they framed their strategy, they discussed with each other, they told that Abhay ji, what is happening? I do not know. Repeatedly, I am being muted. I think nobody.
Sorry, ma'am. I'm just unmuting other person, and by mistake, it's getting the slide is going up and down. That's why it's happening.
Okay, okay. So what I was telling is, so what happened? ये जो group leader है, आपस में चर्चा किया कि देखो भाई हम लोगों को ऐसे खेलना है और 8 राउंड खेलना है, ऐसे ऐसे खेलना है ताकि हम लोग को जीतने का कोई मतलब ऑप्शन मिले. लेकिन आफ्टर प्रॉमिसिंग ईच अदर कि मेरा रेस्पॉन्स एक्स ही होगा या वाई ही होगा, ये लोग अपने आप में अपना प्रॉमिस जो है उसके उल्टा खेला जस्ट टू विन. तो उसके बाद क्या होता गया, जो अपना प्रॉमिस को नहीं रखा, देखा गया धीरे धीरे वही लूज करते चले गए रिपीटेडली. लेकिन क्या हम लोग का सबका आउटकम क्या होना चाहिए था? सबका आउटकम Y होना चाहिए था, बिकॉज अगर 4Y होता तो ईच ग्रुप विल विन 1,000 पॉइंट. उसमें क्या होता, एवरीबॉडी वुड हैव विन, कोई किसी को मतलब लूज करना ही नहीं था. लेकिन हर एक ग्रुप जीतने के लिए कुछ भी किया, जो भी ऑनेस्टली प्रॉमिस किया उसको ब्रेक किया और उसी से वो हारते चले गए. लेट अस गो टू द नेक्स्ट वन. Next one, please. So this is a very nice story. That is Ubuntu. This is a nice story from Africa. The motivation behind the Ubuntu culture is very interesting. What it tells that in the society, if we feel that I will be the richest one, I will be the happiest one, I will win in every situation, I will be the topmost one, then that cannot give us happiness because we are social animals. And Ubuntu in African language tells the meaning is I am because we are. Our happiness lies in the happiness of everyone. What happened? This anthropologist proposed a game. He placed a basket of sweets near a tree and made the children stand 100 meters away. Then the anthropologist announced that whosoever reaches first would get all the sweets in the basket. When he said, ready, steady, go, what happened? That was very surprising. These children, they did not run. Not a single ran towards the tree. They all held each other's hands, ran together towards the tree, divided the sweets equally among themselves, ate the sweets and enjoyed it. When the anthropologist asked them why they did so, सारा sweets आपको मिल जाता, आपने क्यों दौड़ के नहीं गया? They answered, Ubuntu. So what is Ubuntu? How can one be happy when the others are sad? So this is not a story. This is actually a learning lesson for all of us. That we alone, if we are the winner, if we are gaining everything, we are getting everything, and the next person is sad, then that is not true happiness. Let us go to the next slide. The next slide, please. So you can see this is another Zohari window. There you can have 4 quadrants over here. So what is here? You win, they win. In most of the situations in our life, we want to find the option where there is a win-win situation, where you win and they also win. And there are other three options. You see, in the fourth quadrant, you lose, they lose. That is not an option. That is not a viable option. You lose, they win is also not good for you. You win, they lose is not good for them. So we will try to find out the option where the relationship also is shifted towards positive. The issue is also shifted towards positive, and there is a win-win situation. Next one, please. This is Kohlberg's stages of moral development. What happened here? Kohlberg, ये जॉन पियाजे के एक डिसाइपल थे. इनको ये जो हेन्स डायलेमा, ये स्टोरी अलग अलग उम्र वर्ग का, अलग अलग सोशल स्ट्रेटा का डिफरेंट आदमी को सुनाया, और सुनाने के बाद उनको पूछा कि आप अगर हेन्स के जगह में होते तो आप क्या करते? What would have been the right action? What your mind is telling you? हेन्स के पास और कोई ऑप्शन था क्या? ये I'm sorry. तो ये सारा कुछ एनालिसिस करने के बाद करीब कुछ हजारों आदमी को उन्होंने ये पूछा. I think you all are remembering the basic story. A woman has cancer and her doctors believe only one drug might save her. And this drug has been discovered by a local. Hello. And he was able to make it for $2,000 per dose and sell it for $20,000 per dose. The woman's husband could only raise $1,000 to buy the drug. He tried to negotiate with the pharmacist for a lower price or to be extended credit to pay for it over time, but the pharmacist refused to sell it for any less or to accept partial payments. Rebuffed, Haynes instead broke into the pharmacy and stole the drug to save his wife. So this was the basic story, and there were questions. So Kohlberg's theory of moral development is a theory that focuses on how children develop morally. Kohlberg's theory suggests that moral development occurs in a series of 6 stages. The theory also suggests that moral logic is primarily focused on seeking and maintaining justice. So how do people develop morality? The question has fascinated parents, religious leaders, philosophers for ages. But moral development has also become a hot button issue in psychology and education. Do parental or societal influences play a greater role in moral development? Do all kids develop morality in similar ways? So American psychologist Lawrence Kohlberg developed one of the best known theories exploring some of these basic questions. His work modified and expanded upon Jean Piaget's previous work, but was more centered on explaining how children develop moral reasoning. Kohlberg asked, should the husband have done that? Kohlberg was not interested so much in the answer to whether Haynes was wrong or right, but in the reasoning for each participant's decision. He then classified their reasoning into the stages of his theory of moral development. How did the two theories differ? That is another question. So how Kohlberg developed his theory, that we know now. And what are the stages of moral development? Kohlberg's theory is broken down into 3 primary levels. At each level of moral development, there are 2 stages. Similar to how Jean Piaget believed that not all people reach the highest level of cognitive development, Kohlberg believed not everyone progresses to the highest stages of moral development. So level 1 is pre-conventional, level 2 is conventional, and level 3 is post-conventional. Pre-conventional morality is the earliest period of moral development. It lasts until around the age of 9. At this age, children's decisions are primarily shaped by the expectations of adults and the consequences for breaking the rules. There are 2 stages within this level: obedience and punishment, that is stage 1, and individualism and exchange, that is stage 2. Then comes the level 2, that is conventional morality. The next period of moral development is marked by the acceptance of social rules regarding what is good and moral. During this time, adolescents and adults internalize the moral standards they have learned from their role models and from the society. This period also focuses on the acceptance of authority and conforming to the norms of the group. There are again 2 stages at this level of morality. Stage 3, that is developing good interpersonal relationship, and stage 4, that is maintaining social order. Level 3 is of post-conventional morality. I have told already that at this level of moral development, people develop an understanding of abstract principles of morality, and very few, actually 10 to 15% of the adult can reach this post-conventional stage. This is again subdivided into 2 stages. Stage 5, that is social contract and individual rights, and stage 6, that is universal principles. Kohlberg believed that only a relatively small percentage of people ever reach the post-conventional stages, around 10 to 15%. And one analysis found that while stages 1 to 4 could be seen as universal in populations throughout the world, the 5th and 6th stages were extremely rare in all populations. So this is all about the Kohlberg's theory of moral development, which has been criticized. The theory played an important role in the emergence of the field of moral psychology. Let us go to the next slide. So this already I have explained. Next one, please. This also I have already told about the level 1, level 2, level 3, and how they are subdivided and how we are getting the 6 stages. So the first one, rules are fixed and absolute. Number 2, judging actions according to individual needs. Stage 3, conforming and being nice to the authority. Stage 4, respecting the authority, respecting the laws. Stage 5, considering individual rights. And number 6, ethical principles and abstract reasoning. Next one, please. A to Z of ethics. These are again a type of game, you can tell. These were telling about what type of words you can frame by A, by B, by C, by D, which is in relation with ethics. Okay. So this is all about it. Next one, please. Sharing ABC as a starter. For teachers, you can write A for always act honestly, B for be reasonably accessible to students, C for coming to class well prepared. This is very important for teachers. For students, A for always act honestly, B for being responsible. So you can frame so many phrases or words with this. Next one, please. This is again very, very important. The circle of concern, influence, and control. Okay. So what are these? A very, very famous American author, Stephen Covey, in his book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, he has described and analyzed the same point by distinguishing between our circle of concern, that is things we care about but cannot control, and our circle of influence, the things we care about and can impact. One thing we all have come to realize over the years of working with a great number of people experiencing change is how differently people either react to change or how they choose to respond to change. Those who effectively embrace change focus their time and energy on things they actually have control over instead of wasting their time and energy on things they do not. The circle of concern versus the circle of influence. The circle of concern includes the wide range of concerns you have in the world, you work and life, including health, family, finances, economy, national debt, etc. Everything you include inside the circle is a concern and matters to you, important to you, and everything outside the circle is of little or of no concern to you. This is your circle of concern. What about circle of influence? Circle of influence are all those topics where you can have your impact. The challenge with the circle of concern is you start to realize that some of the things you find yourself concerned about are outside of your control and some are inside your area of control. For example, you may be concerned about the health of a family member or the economy. However, can you really do anything about it? This is why it is important to identify your circle of influence within your circle of concern. So what is circle of influence? Next one, please. Next, yeah. So your circle of influence are the things that concern you, that you can do something about. Okay. And what is circle of influence? You have your impact or you can do something actively inside your circle of influence. We cannot control the economy or a global pandemic. As we react, we tend to focus on the circle of concern, which depletes our energy because we have no control over it. The energy focused on the circle of concern is negative. Proactive people focus their efforts on their circle of influence and control, which is the area we have control over and we can act upon. They work on the things they can do something about: health, children, business, work. When you act on your circle of influence, you are able to reduce stress level and increase happiness because you can initiate and influence change. Reactive people focus their efforts in the circle of concern, things over which they have little or no control: the national debt, terrorism, the weather, पेट्रोल का प्राइस. ये सब सोच के कोई फायदा नहीं है because we cannot do anything about them. So we have to work on the circle of influence. If we work on ourselves or where we can really contribute, the circle of influence will increase in the area and the circle of concern may shrink. And always remember the famous quote from Dr. Stephen Covey: I am not a product of my circumstances, I am a product of my decisions. Next one, please. This is all about the field of concern, the field of influence, and the field of control. You can see we have to work on I to increase our circle of control. And when we can increase our circle of control, it will overlap into the area of circle of influence. And in long time, if we are so influential, we can touch the circle of concern also. So there is no point thinking about the circle of concern, but rather we have to work on ourselves to increase our control and influence. Next one. Next one, please. So teachers, elders as role models, we come back to what we have discussed so far. We elders, as fathers, as mothers, as elder brothers, elder sisters, or teachers, we are the role model for our future generation. So we have to be honest, ethical. We have to be very strong in our moral values, because children will never learn if you just tell them, or if you preach them, or even if you scold them for not being good, for not being ethical, for not being honest. Actually, our next generation, our children, they follow us. They follow how we behave. They follow how honest we are in our personal and professional life. They follow how ethical we are. They follow how is our level of integrity. And if we are role models, half of our work is done. Next one, please. Next one, please. So role models can teach through example. Children who are taught the importance of integrity during their formative years generally don't lose it. It becomes a part of life, which is what we are looking for in any profession. Youths are impressionable. When they see their mentors, such as parents, teachers, or political leaders, cheating with pride or bragging about petty dishonesty, such as stealing a towel in a hotel or cutlery from the restaurants, the following will happen. They will be disappointed. They will lose respect for their mentors. And we can never respect a good nation comprising of honest, ethical citizens. Next one. This is a funny story, but not so funny for that poor child. This is a case of poor role model. And it is there. It's a very practical example. A school teacher asked a little boy what his father did for a living. The poor boy replied, "I'm not sure, but I guess he makes pens, pencils, lights, bulbs, toilet rolls, etc. because that is what he brings home every day in his lunch box." What the child will learn from his father? He will disrespect, he will not obey, and when he grows up, either he will hate his father or he will be just like his father. So this is a case of poor role model. We as teachers can never be poor role models for our students. Next one, please. So this is the Janusian way. The next one. So what is Janusian way? That is, you can tell, discuss in group some of the stories. There are so many stories. I have a number of stories, but I cannot discuss all of them. So the stories can be used as negative reinforcers, or you can draw out the values, ethics, and integrity out of them. Next one, please. So you can see these two heads. The concept of Janusian thinking dates back thousands of years, who featured the god Janus's head with two profiles. One profile looked back to the year just ended, the other looked forward to the year about to begin. These two heads are actually the two conflicting souls within us. One is motivating you to do something good, to become honest, to become ethical, to work according to the standard. But the other one is telling you, चलो ना थोड़ा सा कुछ गेन हो जाए, ऐसा कर लेते हैं, क्या जाता है, छोटा सा अपराध है. So these two conflicting things are there in our own mind. So we have to decide which head's words we are going to listen to. Next one, please. Creating space for integrity in our classrooms. In our classroom, when we are imparting lesson, or we are working together in groups, or we are discussing something, create some little space for integrity. not only by pasting some great quotes in the class, but in your day-to-day behavior, you have to show ethics and integrity. You have to be very strong on your moral standards, and you will see that your students will learn from you. Next one, please. So you have to develop a culture of integrity in your classroom. What tips can you offer for other teachers or for parents who hope to reinforce academic integrity and ethical behavior at home? Because from the school only, in the school only, these are the formative years of our students. We are preparing the nation's next generation. So we have to be very, very particular about these points of ethics and integrity. Next one, please. Next one. So actually the PowerPoint slide has come to an end, but it has thrown so many questions to us, to our consciences. As teachers, is teaching like any other job? No, it's not. We know the tremendous responsibility that is resting on our shoulders. At the same time, we have to know and have to understand that at any point of time, so many eyes are looking at us. They are drawing their motivation, inspiration from us. They are seeing their role models in us. So we have to be very, very ethical. We have to be having very high moral standards. And by our day-to-day life, by our actions, by our behavior, we have to motivate our future generation to become a generation of high moral standards, of ethics. You can ask, I will try to answer them. Thank you.
Well, thank you, ma'am. It was wonderful session. I remember that I was part of this session upholding ethics and integrity that was held in Gyan Niketan. Gyan Niketan, ma'am.
Yes.
And you and Madhukar sir were there to
yes.
enlighten us. Today also I felt the same sort of energy, same sort of things that you gave to us, ma'am. Really wonderful session, ma'am. Wonderful. So many things we learned today, especially the sphere of influence. That was wonderful. We need to focus on the things that we can control.
See, on this topic, now we can have patience.
Yes, ma'am.
We can have long sessions.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So wonderful session once again.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Each participants. Thank you, ma'am. Yes, Mr. Abhay.
The attendance link has been shared in the message group.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Participants, please mark your attendance. The attendance link will be open till 5:15. Participants, those who have marked their attendance can leave the meeting. participants, those who have marked their attendance in the Google Forms, can leave the meeting. Thank you, sir.
So what is CBSE Shiksha email?
The CBSE Shiksha email consists of your school code and the CBSE Shiksha email ID.
Hello. Thank
Okay.
you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Sir, my question was with ma'am.
Pardon, sir.
I was about to ask a question to the ma'am.
Salendra, sir.
Yes, please. Please, I'm
Hello,
here.
sir.
Please ask.
Can I ask a question to ma'am? Is she not available now?
If ma'am is not here, actually I was part of that session, so I have been responsible for this topic. You can ask me also.
Okay, sir. Sir, my question was related to professional behavior.
See,
That
yes, please.
that what happens sometimes in our teacher's room. That what happens at work and what happens at home, we actually don't we are not able to create a solid line between. So is it good to the teachers if they disclose personal information about home life? So what would be the suggestion for this, sir?
Okay, listen now. See, there are two spheres where we work, one at home, another in the school. And both have completely different kind of domain. So if certain things you are going to share, means if you are going to mix your personal life, if you are going to disclose your personal information along with the person with whom you are working as professional employees, so that may affect sometimes because there are not everyone who will understand you, who will care for your feeling or who will care for your dignity and all. So it is
Yes.
better, my suggestion is this, that better we should remain away from sharing all any sort of personal information before our colleagues, because you cannot trust everyone. Anyone can breach, anyone can disclose those, anyone can use those informations. So better not to mix your personal life with the professional life. That will keep you happy always, and that will have you give you an opportunity to lead a dignified life also. This is
Okay, thank you, sir.
anyone else? So let us now close
Yes, sir.
this meeting.
I'm closing this meeting, sir. The link has been once again I have shared for the attendance.
Okay.
The link will be open for 15 minutes. I'm closing this meeting, sir. Thank you, sir.
Please.